huge cake. It's time we run some tinsel from that evergreen bough. For it is Christmas, candles in the windows, carols and the spirit as we near Christmas. At this very minute, we need a little Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas now.
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see you. My name is Victoria Sautee, and thank you for joining me here in the glittery bunker for my big Christmas show. That's right. It's sort of like a living Christmas card to each and every one of you. And who knows, along the way, we might even learn stuff. If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done. With Victoria Sautee. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all there hurrying to your spots at the glittery bunker. Hello, Christy. Merry Christmas to you, Shelley Marsh, Bogio. It's nice to see you out there, too. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a lovely show for you tonight. We do. I think we do. I know we do. I'm convinced of it, darling. After all, it's the holidays. That's right, here in the glittery bunker, where the bunker does nothing if not glitter. So I want to start the show tonight the way I always do. I have a word for you. It's the word of the day. It's a holiday word. It is. It's baggy. Baggy. Do you know the word baggy, darling? Is maybe you do. Baggy is a small plastic bag used for the storage of food. That's right, a small plastic. Let me use baggy in a sentence for you. She filled her baggie with oranges. That's right. She put oranges in her baggie, or they found him holding a suspicious baggie. A suspicious baggie. Oh, darling, baggies as a food storage container. They were the first food storage container made their first appearance in 1957. Now, before that time, we didn't know what to do with our food that we stored. We'd put it in a paper sack, a paper bag. We'd put it in a little wax paper bag. But what would we do if we wanted to save liquid? We couldn't put that in a bag now, could we? But thanks to the nice people at Baggies, we can do that, and we have a word called baggies. Baggies are not just for food storage, darling. No, they're a holiday treat. You can make your own wreath out of baggies like the one here in the picture. You could do anything with a baggie if you put your mind to it. Oh, there was a time long ago when baggies simply meant your clothes were too big for you, darling. But now baggies are in your drawer. Baggies are in your home. Baggies are in your fridge right now, holding delicious food that you probably won't eat anymore. Well, how's your Christmas going, darling? How is it? Let's see who's out there. Michael's out there. He's got his fruit cake and his holiday salt. Oh, good, Michael. I'm glad you do. I've got one too. I'll show you in a moment. I've said that before. Oh, happy glittery holidays to you, Barbara. How's your holiday going? What's going on, Mount Emma? How Victoria? Nice to see you, darling. And Ingrid's out there all the way up in upstate New York. Ingrid comes to us from, and Joe's out there. Merry Christmas. Oh, beware, Joe. I might throw you into a Christmas tree. I might. And here's, Michael's the history of baggies, something I knew I needed. You do. I'm going to send you a report I've done on baggies. I am. You are exquisite. Oh, thank you, Emma. I am exquisite in Pantochino's Christmas countdown, and I must say, I look wonderful tonight. I really do. But enough about me. Let's talk about me. I want to know how your Christmas is going. Have you finished your holiday shopping? Have you done everything you need to do? Is your meal prepped? Are your Christmas cards sent out there? I wonder out loud. Now, one of the things that I did today, I had a very busy day, I had to glass wax my windows. Have you done that yet? Have you done your glass wax? Do you know what glass wax is? There it is there. Glass wax is it's sort of retro, but you know me, I'm a little old-fashioned, I am. So glass wax, well, you put it on. You see what the little girl is doing there on the box top there? She has a little stencil of Santa Claus, and all of a sudden it appears on her window. Isn't that magical? Let's learn how we do that, shall we? Where's my little baggy lesson?
Just pour regular glass wax into a dish. Dip in a sponge and simply dab over one of the stencil designs. Put a jolly Santa like this on your windows in a matter of seconds.
What? In a matter of seconds she did it, and that's what I did today. I filled a baggie up with glass wax and I stenciled all my windows in the glittery bunker, all one of them. Yes, I do get a little bit of light in here, darling, I do. Well, after I did that, I had a very busy day in the kitchen. I made something for my holiday table, something a little unusual. It's an edible holiday centerpiece is what it is. Here it is now. It looks like this. This was my inspiration. It's Frosty the Slaw Man is what it's called. It says right there on the magazine ad, Frosty the Slaw Man. And basically what you use is coleslaw and Hellman's mayonnaise, and you just shake that in there. I used a little red pepper for the hat. I should have made it for you on the show, darling, but it was very mayonnaise-y. And I'm going to serve this to my guests when they come here on Christmas. Well, we're going to actually do a Zoom event for Christmas, so I'm not sure how they're going to try it, but they are. But I have a little drinky treat to go along with it. Now, have you ever heard of Dr. Pepper? I'm sure you have, but have you ever had it hot? Hot Dr. Pepper, it's a treat, darling. It really is. Now, if you could get really close up to your screen there, you'd find the recipe. And what you do is you heat up a Dr. Pepper in a saucepan. That's right. You fill the saucepan with Dr. Pepper. You heat it till it boils, and then you pour it in a rocks glass filled with chunks of lemon. And then, if you dare, you drink it. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be like, but I think it'll pair nicely with Frosty the Slaw Man. Yes, I do. Christy likes the window clings. Oh, let's bring them back. Let's bring everything old be new again, shall we, darling? I think we shall. Now, what else? I wanted to tell you about my favorite Christmas thing. Now, I had a really difficult time choosing what we were going to learn about tonight because there's so many different Christmas things. There's cards, there's wrapping paper, there's the history of Santa Claus, of course. There's Christmas dinner. I didn't know what to do, but I thought of one thing that is common to everyone. Now, some people like their Santas, a lot of the little ones do, but some people and everybody likes their Christmas trees, don't they? So I love a Christmas tree. I love this little girl holding her candles. Christmas trees and the tradition of the Christmas tree dates back to ancient times, really to ancient Rome and even ancient Egypt. Did you know, even way back in ancient Egyptian times, they would find branches from evergreen trees and post them on their door on the first day of winter, which just so happens to be today, to remind them that things would be greener once again. And it was there throughout their winter and their holiday season. But it really wasn't until the 1850s when the German settlers brought their tradition of a Christmas tree to this country. Now, these trees were lovely, aren't they? Look at that. They featured homemade ornaments and fruits and nuts and cookies. Yes, cookies on the tree, darling. And the tradition of stringing popcorn on a tree dates all the way back to 1850. And I've tried to string popcorn. It's very difficult for me because it's not that I can't see and get the needle through the corn, but I end up eating the whole strand before it gets on the tree. Now, in the 1910s, we saw real candles being used on Christmas trees. We did. They were often clipped on with a little device like this 1919 version. The picture's quite lovely, isn't it there? Now, in the 1920s, the Christmas tree had its most lavish period. It did ribbons and stars and my favorite glitter-adorned Christmas trees. Satin balls were on the trees back then. They were all in style. And it was also during the 1920s that a gentleman named Frank Woolworth began making glass ball ornaments right here in this country. That's right. You thank Woolworth for those here, of having them over here. You do. Now, in the 1930s, we were in the midst of the Great Depression, and handmade ornaments were once again in style. Popcorn bowls, the cranberry garland was once again in style. They were, and in 1931, mark it there, it was the year that the iconic Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center was first erected, as they were actually putting that building together. How about that, darling? How about that? In the 1940s, there we are, a company called Shiny Bright came along, and they bloomed into the most produced Christmas ornament in this country. That's right. It was during wartime, though, that Shiny Bright had to make an adjustment. Now, if you can picture a little ornament, I should have one here. Why don't I? But the little jacket that goes around the top with the hook, you know, that little silver thing. Well, they had to change that for the war effort. We couldn't use the metal, so we made them from a cardboard with a little yarn loop. Isn't that charming and old-timey? It is. Now, in 1950s, tinsel was the thing. Yes, it was very popular. And also, having a small train run around your tree was very much in vogue. There was mostly a Lionel train that would run around the tree and entertain the children, make noise, and have something of a tripping hazard, too. Now, in the 1960s, everything goes plastic and mod, and artificial trees were in style. They were. It was the aluminum specialty company, which started manufacturing these lovely tinsel trees. Aren't they beautiful? I used to have one when I was little. That's right. And they manufactured over 1 million these tinsel foil aluminum trees during that period. Now, in the 1970s, we took a turn for the natural look. That's right. We wanted a fake Christmas tree, but we wanted it to look real. We did. And this is the trend that stays with us to this very day. We spend all kinds of money on an artificial tree that looks real. That we do. Now, what will Christmas trees look like in the future, darling? I have no idea. Might this be the tree of the future? Or this version that's actually not a tree at all, just a series of dangling balls? And that's not the first time I've said that, darling. Or maybe it's a hologram tree. That's what this tree is. It's not really there. We'll just project a tree on our back wall. I hope it doesn't amount to that. I truly don't. Now, I have some other trees that are worth note and worth mentioning in my little tree learning. Here, this tree here, isn't it lovely? It is 20 feet tall by 30 feet wide, and standing in front of it is its owner, the famous silent film comedian and actor Harold Lloyd. That's right. Now, he kept this tree in his California mansion in a town called Green Acres, and this tree was worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, when he passed on and his family sold the mansion and everything, nobody knows where those ornaments were. I'll bet you they were on eBay, darling. I do. It's a lovely tree. I would love to be filmed in front of it, alas. Now, how about this tree? Have yourself a Jurassic little Christmas there. And always keep in mind tree safety. That's right. Nobody wants a blazing death torch, so make sure you watch your tree closely while it's on, darling. Yes. Now, why not blow up your ornaments this year? And I don't mean in a fire way, but I do mean in a balloon way. Isn't that lovely? Balloons on a tree. It's so easy to take down. You just pop your tree. Or how about this rubber glove tree? Yes, and in the era of being safe, a rubber glove tree seems to me a safe bet. It sort of looks like a little chicken's head on the top, don't you think, darling? I like it. Now, speaking of plastics and rubber, how about this tree that sits in Paris every year? It's sort of... I'm going to have to sit on that for a while. Now, how about an edible tree? Here's a tree made out of cans of Spam. Isn't that just something? Christmas. Or we have the tree from Oscar Myers. There's a holiday hostess tree with lettuce and little wieners on there. Or this tempting wiener tree, which I would like to recreate for a party of one, and I would like to devour the entire tree. I would. But when it comes right down to it, my favorite tree has to be this one. It's the Victoria Sautee tree. Look at me all over the tree. Yes, it's lovely. Now, talking about Christmas trees, and I have something that I wanted to share with you. Have you ever seen these, darling? Have you ever seen? You get them when you go to Starbucks. You do, and I know they stick them, they jam them in the lid of your coffee. They do. And now I know that over at Starbucks they're very concerned about the environment, and you can't get a straw there anymore. But instead, you get hundreds of thousands of these, and I collect them because I don't want to throw them out into the atmosphere. I don't want someone to choke on it or a turtle to run over it. So I keep them. And I thought, I'll do something for Christmas. And I know we're not really going to be crafty today, but I wanted to show you what I've created. I have a whole series of these, and I've actually fashioned a hook for the top. And I'm going to put this on my tree this year. I am. It's lovely, and I've just glued it together. The sky's the limit on what you can do with your little plastic annoying things from Starbucks. Here, I've actually made a tree out of it, and I don't know what I'll do with it. I might wear it as a little brooch, a little pin. Maybe I'll wear it in my hair, but I do have this lovely holly in my hair tonight, so maybe in the middle of, I don't know what I'll do with it. But be creative with your little annoying sticks from Starbucks, darling. Be creative with them. Now, it is the holidays, and I told you I was going to tell you about a few of my favorite things, but how could I proceed without talking a little bit about my family? That's right. Back in Cringeworthy, there's my town there, all decked out for the holidays, downtown Cringeworthy. I happened upon my old photo album, I did, and it happened to be a lot of pictures from Christmases past that I wanted to share with you. And look, this is Aunt Helen's house on Christmas Day. What a bore. What a bore it was. Nobody did anything but sulk. Look at the faces there. Perhaps it was because Aunt Helen, that's her on the right, she sewed her Christmas tree out of a sheet of felt, and it really didn't have quite a good holiday mood. It didn't. But if you see there, leaning on the other side of the tree, are her two best friends, Bonnie and Judy. And they're bored as well, they are. But we didn't know much about those two. But they were always at Aunt Helen's house, and they were often in that position. It's true. But her parties were so boring. On the other side of the room, there are my cousins. That's them there. That's Josephine and Betty and Doris and Joan and Carol. And this was the year that Doris and Carol wore those matching skirts. It caused quite a stir, it did. Going to Aunt Helen's house for Christmas was sort of like going to a wake. But it wasn't as much fun because there was no crying. At least at a wake you could cry. Now, here's a picture. I know you're going to like it. It's the first picture of me with Santa Claus. Yes, there we are in Burp Burger's department store. Look at me. I didn't like Santa. He's a rather scary Santa now, isn't he? There he is. This is Ruth Francis. She was a next-door neighbor when we lived on Smudge Street. Now, despite her lovely aluminum tree, which Mother sent me over to decorate myself, Ruth Francis hated Christmas. Look at her face. She hated Christmas. She would just stand there looking at me, putting in the ornaments on the tree, never saying a word. Spooky Ruth Francis. Now this next picture, you all know that I have a love of monkeys. I've shared that with you before, and it's all because of my cousin Jilly. There's Jilly with her monkey. She had a cute little pet monkey, she did. The monkey's name was Squeaky Lee. It was delightful that first Christmas that she got the monkey, and we all would take turns holding the monkey and feeding it bits of cheese and candy and playing with it. And little did we know, just about a month later, they'd have to put her down. Jilly, that is. They had to put Jilly down. She contracted a rare simian disease, and off to heaven she went. Poor Squeaky Lee was sent off to the cringeworthy animal shelter, where he infected another dozen or so workers, and they sent him off to the big jungle in the sky. Not a merry story at all. I'm sorry I even brought it up. Oh, look at that! It's Cousin Buffy. Yes, her real name was Buffalo. She weighed 28 pounds when she was born. This was the Christmas. You can see it there in the picture. She got the handheld vacuum cleaner. And if you think the story about the monkey was bad, the story about the vacuum cleaner, I won't even share with you, darling. I won't. Oh, here's her father. This is Buffy's father, Hollywood, they called him. Now, his real name was John, but he fancied himself an actor, so everyone called him Hollywood, that he might get there one day. I don't think so. He did have a lovely part at the Cringeworthy Community Players, where he played Jarvis, the butler, in Peg of My Heart, and never made it to Hollywood, although he did get to the Gimpy Players, where he played the wizard in The Girl and the Wizard. The reviewers called him unnoticeable, and he took that as a compliment. He did. Oh, look, it's Kit Kat. This is Cousin Catherine, but her stage name was Kit Kat, or Kitty the Cat. She had many names. The police were after her. She was a go-go dancer at the most popular go-go bar in Cringeworthy. It was called Down Under. Well, it was called Down Under, not because it was in Australia. It was because it was down underneath the Cringeworthy Steakhouse. That's right. This was the Christmas that she had to leave early, so she had a matinee performance to play. She had to make her dollars. She did. This is from father's side of the family. It's Uncle Omar. Now, he was not a stripper, but somehow he managed to get down to his underwear at every party. Sick, twisted Omar. Oh, look. This is my grandmother. And there she is with all her little fluffy friends, just a few days before they sent her off to the institution. It is. Oh, Cousin Elaine, that's her on the right in a paisley skirt. And those are her children. That's from left to right. That's little Elaine and middle Elaine and big Elaine. Funny thing about those three, they all ran away from home at separate times, and we've never heard from any of them. Oh, families, they're so odd. There's Mum. Look at the smile on her face. That's because, well, Mum was always smiling, and she was always drinking, she was. Oh, look at that. That's Auntie Rosebush. Now, her real name was Rosebush. She was a barrel of laughs. Just look at the way she dressed. Oh, this is embarrassing, but I'm going to share it. This is a picture of me during my awkward phase. Yes, there I am. Look at me. Christmas that I wore my favorite nativity sweater. Yes, I was a one. And I have another picture to share with you. This was several years later when Cousin Kit Kat bought me a pair of go-go boots. My first ones. They were actually my only ones. They were. Oh, right. Enough about the photo album. I have something here that I want to drink, and it's eggnog. And I don't like to drink alone, so I'd like to bring on my best friend, Mr. Dazzle. Mr. Dazzle.
Cheers, Victoria.
No, I hear that you know about nog.
Yes, I do. I know about as much about nog as I possibly could, although I will say that the history of nog is a shaky one at best. Like so many Anglo histories, it's steeped in hearsay. You know, people just decided to make up stories about it and then wrote about it, and it became true in a way, whether the origins are correct or not. So anything I say about nog, take with a grain of salt or a thimble of brandy.
Anything you say will be held and used against you in a bar of law.
Well, thank you. Eggnog has origins in another drink, a drink called posset, which is an English drink. It's actually from the 15th century. And posset was essentially wine mixed with curdled milk. They would put milk on the stove and cook it till the solids came out, and then put wine and spices in it.
All right.
And that was actually considered a medicinal remedy. They would give this to people who
They were bad.
yes, I guess whatever they had was worse than posset. But they would use this, and eventually, over time, people would add different things to it. The story is that monks actually added eggs to it, as well as figs.
Leave it to those monks.
Well, the monks were great at adding liquor to things, but since it already had liquor, I guess they had to add eggs. But so they added eggs to it, and it actually caught on and became known as a drink called the egg flip, where they would take it, and when they mixed it, they would take 2 cups and they would pour it from one to the other. So they would flip it back and forth, and it was an egg flip, and it foamed it up, and everyone loved it. Something to note about nog is that when it started, it was served warm. It was served warm, actually, up until the 1900s. So anytime I mention anything about the history of nog, consider it a hot, milky egg beverage, okay? Now,
Might not make it through the show, darling.
well, so here's the thing is, we have a lovely treat today, and the history of it is quite storied and bizarre. When we get into the portion of history involving the American colonies, American farmers couldn't afford to put sherry or wine in it. That was something that was for English aristocracy. Rich people would have posset or nog at their parties, but American farmers, they could grow and have livestock, so they could put whatever they wanted in it except for the alcohol. So in the States, they actually used whiskey, which they could import easily or make, and rum, which came through the Caribbean trade. So early American nog didn't have wine or sherry in it, though that's how it started. So we tend to use whiskey and rum. As time grew on in this country, the name changed from posset to egg flip to grog. Grog was a slang term for rum, so they sort of incorporated it that way. It wasn't actually called eggnog until the turn of the 19th century, right around 1797 or so. There was an author, and he wrote about it and called it eggnog, and I think that's the first time it was ever called that in print. And he got the words from eggs, which it contained, and nog from the word noggin, which is actually the name of the cup that they would serve it in. Oh. Some people think that the word nog is actually derivative of an English word from the region of Norfolk, which is on the East Coast, and that it was an Old English word for a strong drink, which is probably why they were putting things like rum and whiskey in it. Actually, President George Washington was known to have parties, and he would serve a version of it that had whiskey, sherry, and rum in it. So America really amped it up as far as alcohol consumption is concerned.
They certainly did. Let's stop and take a look at this for a moment, shall we?
This is the holiday time of year, and Borden's Eggnog is here. Borden's Eggnog!
Hey, wait for us!
Yes, sirree, kids. You'll go for Borden's Eggnog, ready to drink right from the carton. Made with lots of eggs, milk, and sweet cream. Tastes even better than a milkshake.
Wow! Borden's Eggnog! Borden's. Very big on flavor.
Little did they know it wasn't big on flavor. Those children drinking rum.
Well, that version of eggnog, the cold version, didn't come about until the mid 20th century. It wasn't until the 1950s people really embraced that it should be cold and that it should be mass marketed. You didn't go to a grocery store and buy eggnog until the 1960s, really. Dairies would actually offer it in the 1950s, but those are the days of the milkman. So you'd have to order it from a dairy and have it delivered to your home along with your other milk and cream. A couple of funny points just through history that I was thumbing through and thought would give you a laugh. Did you know that there was an eggnog riot?
Well, I'm not surprised.
Apparently, at West Point Academy here in the States, in 1826, I believe, there was meant to be a Christmas party, which they held annually, and all of the cadets every year would go and gather up liquor and have a big party. But the commanding officers decided that this year they weren't going to have it. So all the cadets decided to sneak out anyway and bring liquor on premises. And they overdid it and broke all the windows of the barracks and tore the banisters apart and got into fights. And there were 19 court-martials and I think 11 discharges. It was a huge embarrassment, unfortunately. But it was forever called the Eggnog Riot of 1826. So
Would make a good film.
it probably a short subject, I'd imagine. I don't know how long you'd want to see people tearing apart the world over eggnog, but yeah, no,
It was Borden's, maybe.
That's true. Maybe they were. There was nothing else to do, so they had to destroy things. And you know, in this country, obviously, you know, in the early years of American history, we had a lot of alcohol in it, but Prohibition, which took place in the 1930s, basically kind of killed that as an idea. You know, before then, we used to have eggnog at all sorts of celebrations. They used to serve it on George Washington's birthday or the 4th of July. And remember, again, it's warm. So, it was a festive drink and people really enjoyed it. It wasn't until post-Prohibition that we sort of decided to recapture that magic and just keep it at Christmas time. And of course serve it cold, which is very recent. But
I have a little clip to show you.
Wow, Borden's eggnog. Now we can have a party.
Borden's eggnog is the delicious holiday treat the whole family loves, right from the carton. It's made with lots of eggs, milk, and real sweet cream. Rich and creamy, better than the best milkshake you ever tasted. Borden's, very big on flavor.
And what people might not know is the people at Borden's also created Elmer's glue, which is what it looked like in those commercials, didn't it, darling?
It probably was. They probably weren't drinking it. It was just glue in glass.
Well, I'm enjoying my eggnog, darling, and I want to thank you so much for telling us all about the nog.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you. I'm enjoying mine as well.
Cheers to you, and a happy holiday to you and yours, Mr. Dazzle.
Oh, cheers. Happy holidays, everyone.
We love it when Mr. Dazzle comes to visit, and I'm going to finish my nog. I also have a little commercial to show you, and then we'll be back with more of the show.
Since 1904, no sauce has been browner than Daddy's. Daddy's Brown Sauce. Every household needs a bottle of brown, the perfect condiment for breakfast, lunch, or just on its own. When vinegar, glucose, molasses, dates, and rye flour come together, you can't call it anything but brown. Daddy's Brown Sauce. Try it in coffee. Brought to you by the people who make salad cream.
Well, that's just lovely. Oh, hello, Jane. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, what's the matter, Jane? Are you not excited for Christmas coming?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, come now, tell me. Seems like something's the matter.
Well, I don't think I've been such a good girl this year.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very bossy, and I'm not nice to Dick or Mother or Father or what's my baby sister's name?
Sally?
Sally. Yeah, her. Yeah. And I've been pushy and self-centered and loud. Yeah, I've been very loud.
Well, maybe just a little loud. Yes.
And I don't think Santa Claus is gonna bring me anything because I was a bad girl.
Oh, now he'll bring you something.
Well, what? A lump of coal?
No. Think about Ebenezer Scrooge. That's right. Do you remember what happened to him?
Yeah, he got haunted by some ghosts.
No. He was able to change. He was able to change, and there was still time for him to do good.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, come on.
You mean I have to keep Christmas as my heart all year long and all that jazz?
Exactly.
Nah, I don't think Santa will buy it. I don't think Santa will come.
Ho, ho, ho! Hello, Victoria. Hello, Jane.
Is that you, Santa?
Of course it is. It's me. Ho, ho, ho!
Santa, was I very, very bad this year?
No, you weren't very, very bad. You were bad, but not very, very.
Well, will you bring me something for Christmas this year?
Why, of course I will.
Will I like it?
I hope so.
Will it be cash?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. If I don't get cash, it's all right. I'm just as happy with a check or a credit card or how about both?
Don't push it, Jane.
Oh, okay. Merry Christmas, Santa Claus!
Oh, Merry Christmas, Jane. Merry Christmas, everyone!
All right, now off to bed you go. Off to
Night,
bed.
bye,
Bye. You too, Santa.
Ho, ho, ho!
Off they go. Fun with Dick and Jane. They're just lovely sometimes, aren't they? Well, you know, we're reaching towards the end of the show, and I think we should play a round of the match game. That's right, it's the match game where you can win a fabulous prize. You can. Now, last time's winner, Emma, won a fabulous prize. She actually won the ornament that I created on the show. Do you see it hanging there on her tree, right next to her little she turned the pin into an ornament of me. Isn't that lovely? So you never know what you're going to win when you play the match game with Victoria Sautee. So I'm going to hold up a little sentence. It's going to have a blank spot in it, and it's your job to fill in the blank and try to match what I'm going to say. Now think of it. What am I going to say? If it's silent blank, I'm probably not going to say silent night. So don't even waste your energy and put that in. Come up with something unusual, you know, something frilly, something glittery, like me, darling. So here is our first clue. In a letter to Santa Claus, Jane asked Santa for money, but Dick asked Santa for blank. In a letter to Santa Claus, Jane asked Santa for money, but Dick asked Santa for blank. I'm going to fill my answer in. I did it. I filled it in. What are your responses? Dick asked Santa for nog, for joy, for Frosty the Snowman. Yes. For peace on earth. Isn't that nice? That's the kind of thing Dick might want. And well, you'd have to ask Mum for that one, right, Shelley? For Play-Doh, I see it came in there. Eggnog. Dad's brown sauce, that's on my list, it is. A new sister, that seems to be the definitive answer tonight. All right, the music stopped, so I never know how to stop the music when it stops. I don't. It's going to have to come back in at the most inopportune time. But I'll tell you what I wrote. We didn't have any matches on that one. I wrote, he asked Santa for the vaccine. He asked Santa for the vaccine. He did. He's always thinking that, Dick. All right, I have another one. Don't worry if you didn't win. You have another chance. Instead of rocking around the Christmas tree, Jane blanked around it. Instead of rocking around the Christmas tree, Jane blanked around it. I've got my answer, lickety split, and that's not what my answer was. Okay, Jane danced around it. She didn't rock around it. She danced around it, Michael says. She stormed around it. She jumped around it, Suzanne says. She strutted around it. I like her. She ran around it as quickly as she could. Her little no legs would take her. She jumped around it. She whined around it. That's right. She rolled around it. She slithered. She twerked. She pouted. She's always pouting. Hopefully she's changed her tune. I hope so. Well, All right, the music has stopped. She crawled around. Shelley, are you there? You said she rolled around it, and I said she rolled around it. Get it? Rock and roll. Oh, the music! No, wait, go. It's not ready. You're not. That orchestra, they're unruly there. Well, Shelley, you did a match, and I have a good mind of sending you this ornament. I do. Well, don't worry if you didn't win, darling, because guess what? I have another round ready. This should be an easy one. Here it is. Are you ready, friends? Christmas blank. Ooh, how general. Christmas blank. Christmas. All right, I've got mine down. What did you say, darlings? Christmas tree, Christmas turkey, Christmas present, Christmas glitter, Christmas balls. It takes presents to say balls, bunker, Christmas ornament, Christmas cookie, Christmas time, Christmas with Dick and Jane. I just might have to make that into a show. Christmas cards, Christmas cheer, Christmas Eve. What is that? Oh, yeah. Christmas spirit, Christmas aluminum tree, Christmas cookie. They're coming in so quickly. Christmas wrapping. Oh, Christmas what? Christmas bells. Ring those Christmas bells. I said, wait, did I get one more? All right, I'm going to reveal my answer. I said Christmas vacation. Christmas vacation. Wasn't that out? Stop it. That's a jazzy one, too. No, Christmas vacation is what I said. So we didn't have Christmas in cringeworthy. You don't want that. You've seen the pictures now, Emma. You don't want that. Christmas in Connecticut, where my glittery bunker is. It's a little more like it. All right. All right, I'm going to do one more really quickly because I want someone to win some of these prizes. I do actually have good prizes like the large button. I have the small full color button. And here's the last one, and then we're on the way. Santa's blank. Santa's blank. Bring on the jazzy music. I've written mine down, and I'm going to dance to the jazzy music. Santa's helpers, Santa's hat, Santa's brown sauce, Santa's sleigh, how merry, Santa's sled, Santa's coach, Santa's reindeer. Emma wants to win that small button. Santa's beard, Santa's elf, Santa's drinking nog. Both he is, so am I. Santa's boots. We've covered just about everything on him. Santa's sack. Oh, ow, ooh. Can we say sack? Yes, we can. The network won't shut us down. Santa's belly. Santa's list. All right. No, that's it. We're done. We've had all the body parts. Let me see. I have a match with Shelley. Santa's beard. Shelley, you're the big winner tonight. I'll have to come up with something that you don't already have, and it's going to be these stirrer ornaments. It is. Oh, darlings, it's been so much fun to have you here tonight in the glittery bunker. I'm very excited for Christmas. It's my favorite time of year. I hope it is for you too. I know things will be a little different this year, won't they? But that's all right. We're going to get through it. It's going to be wonderful. That's because we're going to stay safe and we're going to wash our hands. We're going to keep our social distance when we rock around the Christmas tree. Put someone on one side of it and you stay on the other side of it. Be merry, be happy. I'm going to be back. I am. Now, next show is on Sunday, January 3rd at 11 a.m. It will kick off the new year. And who knows, knowing I might just show up on your screen on New Year's Eve. Don't be surprised if I do. I'm that kind of person, I am. But above all, besides all the merry and happy, I want you to be kind to each other. I do. I love you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and all that.
If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done. With Victoria Sautee.
I don't care what they call it. It tastes like melted ice cream, and that's just okay by me.